First of all, my story is a little bit like Bogey's. Just to give you a little background on it. I kind of grew up in church as well. Um, and the older you get, like I said, Christ becomes kind of second in your life sometimes. That's what happened to me. And about a year and a half ago, I devoted myself, like you said, unconditionally to Christ. I put Him first, and I made Him the center of my life. And I recognized that every day, my job when I got up was to glorify God. And sometimes, and even though we know that, sometimes it's easier said than done. Well, that was the case for me. This year has kind of been really up and down for me. I started out bad. I had a pretty good June, and I just had a awful, terrible July. That was probably one of the worst parts of my career, just because I was coming off a June where I did so well, and I thought I was finally doing something in the big leagues. I was kind of making a name for myself a little bit, I guess. And I just had a terrible July, and I didn't know what the heck was happening to me. So towards the end of July, I think it was the end of July, maybe 1st of August, I'm not sure. We were playing Philadelphia. I kind of hit a low. I hit bottom. I had reading the Word is very important to me, and I had not done it for a few weeks. I carried it with me everywhere, carried it on road trips, just didn't pick it up, didn't start to read, didn't stay, kind of in tune with God. So there's a lot of stuff kind of spiraling out of control for me. And in Philadelphia is when it kind of all hit bottom, and I was riding home we were flying home from Philadelphia, and that's when I finally got it out. I think I read about 4 books that day, and there's just some things that jumped out to me. I prayed, obviously. I prayed for a while. I'm just kind of trying to figure out what was happening, what I needed to do to get back on track, how I needed to get, what I needed to do to get stronger in my faith. And I came across a verse that I wanted to share with you, or 2 verses actually. It's in Philippians 4, 6 and 7. It says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." So that was huge for me, mainly because I was stressing out, worrying about, on and off the field, and hey. All right, can you hear me? Anyways, I was stressing out. I was worrying about everything on and off the field, and that verse kind of turned me around a little bit right there. When you think about it, and when you realize that God has everything under control, has everything in His hands, it kind of takes away that worry from you. And in my study Bible, when it talks about this verse, it asks a question. It says, "Are you worrying? Are you worrying a lot?" It says, "Well, or do you want to worry less?" I'm sorry. Do you want to worry less? Well, pray more. And that was a situation for me. I needed to pray more. I was worrying a lot. I prayed more, and every time I pray now, when I go out on the field, I pray for the peace of God. And what that does is it helps me. It kind of frees me up to go out there and play for God. It frees me up to go out there and glorify God and not just play for myself. And I think that another thing is God kind of, He used this situation for me. He used those struggles for me to kind of help me realize, said, hey, you can't do this by yourself. You have to rely on me. And I'm very thankful for that He kind of opened my eyes to that. And now, I can go throughout my life relying on God to fix the problems for me, and I don't have to do it myself. That takes a huge burden off my shoulders. And like I said, it frees me up to glorify God. There was one more verse I wanted to read. Sorry, it's on my phone. It's in Romans 8. And it's verse 31 and 32. And this really helped me as well. It says, "What then shall we say in response to these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? He who did not spare His own Son, but gave Him up for us all, how will He not also, along with Him, graciously give us all things?" So when you realize that God has our best interests in mind, whether it's on the baseball field, or off the field doing something else, and you know he's behind you 100%. Once again, that frees you up to go out there and glorify him, and that's my main priority every day. Thank you.